Welcome to Between Two Ellens. I'm Ellen Pogemuller with House District 88.
I'm Ellen Hefner with House District 87. And today it's Teacher Appreciation Week. And we thought we would have a former teacher,
Administrator, coach,
all of the above, from House District 25, Representative Ronnie Johns.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
excited.
Thank
Excited to be
you.
here.
So first off, always we start with legislators. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose to run for office.
Okay, well, I've spent all my years in House District 25, which is basically Pontotoc County, but graduated from Bing, America, just north of Ada, and that's where my mom and dad taught. They both taught for over 30 years, and so anyway, spent all my time there. Went to East Central University, which is there in Ada. It's where I met my wife Renee, and Nene got married, and we were dorm directors and had our 3 kids while living in the dorm in an apartment. And anyway, got out of college, got offered a job at Ada City Schools, and spent 33 years there as a teacher, coach, athletic coordinator, vice principal, and principal.
Wow.
And so, gotta say, my favorite time, you would think, well, it's probably coach. And, you know, we had a successful team. We won a state championship and things, but my best 7 years was when I was vice principal.
Why?
Was able to impact kids.
Nice.
Anyway, so that brings it in. So the election of 2018, Todd Thompson was our state representative, and he termed out. And so I'd always had a kind of a desire to do this. And that was kind of put in my brain when I was a senior in high school. So one of the elective classes was government, U.S. government. Well, my dad taught that. Well, it wasn't an elective for me. You know, it was just,
It was a must.
me, my brother, and my little sister.
Had to.
You were taking U.S. government. And during that class, just learning about the Constitution, representative government, that kind of thing. I mean, it kind of just put that spark in there. And so when Todd termed out, and of course it's right after, you know, the teacher walkout and things, and I actually declared before the walkout. So I declared in November of 2017, I guess.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, wanted to come up and try to make a difference, and that's debatable, I think. And
You
so,
made a difference.
but so anyway, that's how I got here. Almost ran when Todd ran. When was Brad Henry elected? Because he beat Steve Largent. So
Before I got here. So before 2010.
Anyway, whenever that was, almost ran then, and with 3 kids at home. Renee said, "No, you're not doing that."
Are you glad you waited?
I am so glad I waited. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't.
I know.
Because you do it, and you live up here, and I know it's very, very difficult, even at that. I can't imagine being away.
I think that all the time for my colleagues who have kids at home. I'm like, oof, at least I can, you know, Monday night I got to go to a soccer playoff game.
Right.
You know, I still had that option. So it is, no matter what, it's a sacrifice on families.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
yeah, no doubt. So glad I did. So here I am.
So
ending year 8.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
So obviously one of your passions is education.
Sure.
And honestly, in my 5 years before this, you know, working with teachers, and now education is still one of the biggest issues at the Capitol. And so what are some of the, you know, ways that you have worked to try to support educators and teachers? And you've done it, I know you have.
Well, you know, I just try to support any legislation that we have to support our public schools. Big, strong public school guy. And so whatever that issue has been, for or against, that's how I've worked. you know. So, yeah.
And you got NBC, a national board cert. Can you talk about national board certification
Yeah,
and
you know,
that bill?
Yeah, so our national board certified teachers. So when I was teaching, I noticed that the best teachers at Ada Junior High were nationally board certified. I mean, and it was. And so when I first started it in Ada, you had 5 years to get a master's degree. And if you didn't get a master's, you're done.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, they fired you.
Wow.
Now, if you hadn't gotten it, and as long as you had shown that you were working, had taken some classes and stuff, and you were doing a good job, they were lighting up on you. But if you didn't,
Wow.
yeah.
Gosh, a different time.
Oh, it was a big different time. So anyway, and they helped pay for that. They paid for your tuition.
Wow.
They paid for your tuition. They had something worked out with East
Put
Central.
those standards, you know.
With East Central, you know, and we had, because we'd take any and all student teachers
Nice.
during that time, and so they had something worked out with East Central. Where was I going with that? Oh, so with that, I gotten 2 master's degrees, but I was going to, it was not that big a deal. Anyway.
I saw myself.
What?
I went, yeah.
Yeah, I saw your face.
We're good friends.
It's not that big a deal. Anyway, so I would ask those national board certified teachers, I would say, hey, I talked to about 3 of them, I think, and I said, what served you best, the master's degree or national board certificate? Oh, the national board, hands down. Said it's not even close.
Wow.
Not even close. And so with that said, I was about to start that, and then that's when all the funding went out. I thought, well, bull, I'm not going to go through all this without getting the stipend. So you know, at that point, I saw the importance of it, and so when I got up here, trying to get that back in has been a process, and so you know, it's about compromise. If you're going to do things, going to try to get some things done, you have to compromise, and so I did that this year with, you know, our teachers are going to call it merit pay. I like to call it incentive or growth pay. You know, it's going to be based on growth and things. And so that was going to get across the finish line, I think, no matter what.
Right.
And it was either me or someone else running it. And I just thought, okay, if I can get a hold of that and put that stipend, that $5,000 stipend back in for our National Board Certified teachers, it's a win.
Absolutely.
It's a win. And so able to do that, you know, Secretary Hamlin, I worked close with him. He worked on the growth piece. I worked on the National Board Certification piece. And you know, easy thing is to file it, and we got it filed, and thanks to you guys and our House members, we were able to get that off House floor and got off the Senate floor as well, and they put on a couple of amendments, insignificant really amendments to it, and we got it off the House floor yesterday. And I talked to Secretary Hamlin the other day, and he said, well, hey, where's it at? Governor's ready to sign it.
Oh, that's great news.
So
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about that.
That is
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
And that has been, I know, a huge priority because of not having the stipends, we've actually decreased in the number of National Board Certified teachers.
Well, we used to lead the nation in National Board Certification and National Board Certified teachers, and now we've dropped. I don't know where we are, but you know, we're way down. And hey, I'd be remiss not to say something about Chairman Caldwell. Trey was like me. He's the best teachers he had in high school were National Board Certified teachers. And so in this time of trying to up our standards or up our achievements, and I've got what we call
Not standards, not test scores.
Well, test scores up our. I'm having a senior moment. What do you call that?
Nene's told me about your senior moment.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. In order to up our grades, I guess, really.
Exactly.
I'm not coming up with the word either.
You're not.
No.
I know. I was relying on you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I will just pivot a little bit then, because what I think when we talk about our teachers, I can remember the great ones. My mom was a teacher. She was a kindergarten teacher, and she was also a principal of a Catholic school. And just hearing some people that have been taught by my mom and say, I don't know where I would have been without Mrs. Novak. Teachers do mean a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else could we be doing, because I think it's for whatever reason, kids aren't pulling away with that sort of same understanding that Chairman Caldwell had, or you're talking about, or what else do you think is needed?
Here's what I'd like to see out of our next state superintendent. I would like for whoever it is to get people underneath them to do the work. To absolutely just go out, do the work, take care of business, take care of everything. And our state superintendent, just be a champion for our public schools and our teachers. And that's going around to schools, looking at the great things, putting it out there on social media, being available to the media for press conferences or whatever, and just champion our schools and our teachers, because both, and specifically our teachers, they need some uplifting.
Yeah.
They need a champion.
That job is a vocation, but if you don't have a good example, we're missing some students that don't have that to look at it as a vocation because of those examples. Just because I think we beat down our teachers. I think that's the key. Oh, I really like that. That's good.
I mean, I also, when I talk about the schools we used to be like, and I made this number up, but like 30% experienced teacher, 30% mid teacher, 30% new teachers. And we've lost some of that structure, I think, in schools. And so building back a team environment where we have those mentorships. And I don't know how, I know we've tried that different ways, but that's what I always talk about, a school system that has this administrative team that works with this collective body from teachers from all different experiences that work together.
When I got out of school, I did not get a teaching job the first year that I was out of college. Renee still had a year left. And there was not a teaching job or coaching job in Pontotoc County.
Oh my gosh.
Not one.
Wow.
Now think about where we are today.
Yeah, I know.
Not one. And then I just got lucky getting on at Ada. I was about to go into another year of not having a job because there wasn't one. And the baseball coach at Ada left like 3 days before school. And I knew the junior high principal. He calls me, Albert Bear, loved him. Anyway, hey, you got a job? No. You want one? Yes. Come see me. So I go down there. He said, hey, here's what you're going to be teaching. He said, you need to go to the football field and talk to Coach McBroom. I said, all right. So I go down there. Coach McBroom goes, you ready to be a head baseball coach? I said, nope. To which he said, good, we got somebody coming in at semester. You'll be the assistant. I said, perfect.
Done.
But anyway, my point is, there were no jobs.
Right.
And faculty stayed the same over and over and over. And I'm 8 years removed from Ada Junior High, and
It's changed.
Everything's
and that's the part I'm like, I want to talk about retention so much in the work that we do.
Yes.
And when I talk to administrators, well, when I worked at OEA, our lawyer always said, follow your administrators. And that's why when I get frustrated this building, they're like, we pay administrators too much, we pay teachers, whatever. I'm like, all of it works collectively together.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And without, champions at each level, the school itself can just kind of dissipate. And those people get picked off for other jobs because they pay more or less stressful. Right. And, admin now, I think of our high school where my kids go, you have to have an administrator at every single evening event now. And maybe that was the case when you were there. But I just think, what a time. We don't understand how much time educators spend outside of the school day to make kids a part of that school community.
Yeah, true. And you even go down to our smaller schools. I mean, teachers are required to maybe take the money at the gate as people are entering, work the concession stand, and that a lot of times at the smaller schools that's without compensation.
But it builds community. Yeah. It does build community.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it does tell those students that go there that it's those people you can go, hey, I have a question, instead of it in the classroom. I mean, my mother stayed up at school for a long time, but I do know that it worked. We have we talk about the most money that we give in our budget, right. And I'm not for throwing money at everything. Money is a piece of it, but if the structures all over don't have the support that they need, us putting a lot of money into a new idea or a new program, we have so many new ideas and programs. I think it's the cart before the horse in some ways. Yeah. So my question to you is, if they we talk a lot about literacy. We spoke a lot about that program. What's something else like that that maybe we should look at that could help those structures? I know what I hear in Putnam City schools. They want interpreters so that we can get parents involved. So they don't have to rely on their kids to interpret what the school needs. See? Yeah. So that is something that they would take a huge burden off me. Something that I could just teach. That's mine. What else is something that you think? If there's a lot,
there is. There's so many things that we could do for those supports. I wish there was something we could do at the state level. I wish there was something we could do at our state level to require parents and guardians to be involved.
You and I are going to go round and round on this. I'm just going to say.
I know, but they've got to be involved.
So they do. They absolutely do.
You and I have had this discussion before, because they have
little hairs on the back of my neck.
You'll talk about all the other things that parent has to do, and I totally agree with that. But I still go back I can think back of the kids, especially when I was vice principal. 8 out of 10 of the kids that had a guardian that I knew was involved in their education, they were successful. Conversely to that, 2 out of 10 of parents who weren't involved, I would have 2 of those kids that would say, okay, I'm going to get through them all and I'm going to make it, right? And I'm not saying that the parents are being neglectful, that they just don't want to be. Some are, but others aren't.
So I talk about this in how we set up our world, right? So I'm a single widow mom,
right.
And I need to talk to an agency or a school, but I'm working.
Right.
And my time that I'm working is the school or the agency is requiring me to step away from my work, which I need a job.
Right.
Yeah. And so I always look at it as, if we're not opening up, and I know this is where support comes in.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the beginning of a school year, I remember I had this meeting, if you don't mind listening to it.
Go ahead.
my son got him into Mount St. Mary's High School. Great, with the program that we started over there, but it was on the south side. I worked on the north side, and they thought that I was going to pick him up at 3:30. I was like, ma'am, And I remember having an IEP. I said, leave him outside. He, at the time, they were like, well, we're so worried, and I go, yeah, I track him. We know the things to do, but they just were. A lot of those parents were like going, can't believe you wouldn't pick up your son and stuff like that. Right. And so this was before a lot of medical came in. So I remember I was at a meeting that we had, and one of the special ed that was in his class was also a coach. And I can't tell you that he said, hey, William, I'm going to call you Dollar Bill. Do you want to be my manager for the football team? And I said, well, and he goes, Miss Heffner, can you just hold on a second? I'm talking to William. And William goes, yes, coach, I want to do that. And from that moment on, he said, I got you.
Oh my, yeah.
I got you. He said, because I want him to grow too.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying there has to be someone who listens, because from that moment on, that support was given to me where other people couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Right.
He did.
Yeah.
Now I know there's a lot of parents out there that want to be involved, but there's not that other person that gave up his time.
Yeah.
And I hear other parents with a child with a disability go, well, you're lucky, and I'm like, again, my William's kind of personable too, but again, I know that I'm very grateful, and they still have that relationship.
Yeah.
Sure.
Still have that relationship.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to look at that.
Yeah, you do.
We have to look at that.
You
Instead of
absolutely
when a parent comes in and they go, parent-teachers conferences are at 3, you have to come from 8 to 3, we can say, but except for some families, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I don't know, but I think that we're working on 19 clickety-clack.
We always had it at night. Mm-hmm. We actually would we would go to like noon and have a lunch break, and then we had parent-teacher conference from like 1 to 8, 1 to 7, or 1 to 9, something like that. Mm-hmm. So everybody could come. Well, gave everybody a shot.
Well, I will say that that happening with me, because I don't really like to ask for help. Mm-hmm. Now I do, but Coach A taught me that that I should ask for help, that we should ask, instead of us sitting around following rules that really didn't fit with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that, yes, I think that more, that if we can get families involved, I also think we have to look at the family's life and go, oh, you work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And you don't have a car.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Stuff like that. And so I think we can tweak it.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's interesting you said, well, hey, we're working on, what'd you say, 1900 clickety-clack?
19 clickety-clack.
Yeah.
When you graduated from
right.
college. Okay.
Right. But I really, and that's one of the reasons I voted for the resolution to get rid of the State Department, is because, I know. Hey, listen, hold on. Because I would love just to reimagine the whole education system. Leave it to the state.
Yeah.
And go. Now, your debate, totally get it and appreciate it, and you brought valid points.
Thank you. You guys can watch that online. It was
really good.
It was really good. Watch it online.
She almost switched my vote. It almost flipped me. But I just wish we could reimagine the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Well, the reason, and I'm not disagreeing with you on that, the reason we need the United States Department of Education is so that states know the law.
I agree.
And families have a way to get their child in a timeline, the services that they need. So there you go.
You said that.
And it doesn't have to go to health, because my kid's not his diagnosis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a student.
Yeah.
So we need to have that understanding.
Yeah.
So.
I get it. Yeah.
Why don't we? Well, I mean, we could just take over. Right?
I know.
U.S. Department of what?
At the end, I think the two things that we both all believe is that families need the supports that schools have to offer.
Yeah.
That's right.
And how we meet families really should be our priority. And there are barriers, whether, we like them or not, in place, whether it's family-centered because of other things or school-centered because we've created these parameters that make it harder for us to do the work we're trying to do in the schools, And that's, my work before coming to schools was really in nonprofit work where it was like, how can we change this so kids and families are more successful? And then I moved to schools and I'm like, we still can't do it because we have to, there's all these upstream things that are really challenging. And so talking more about like that, like a beautiful vision of what a community school looks like and how we can get more engagement really should be the priority. But sometimes we focus so narrowly on these grades or parameters and the words I still can't think of. Instead of looking at this like big picture of what schools should be.
Student outcomes.
Student outcomes.
You did
There it came. Well, and I that's why conversations are good if, we use the word you're included or, it's just nonpartisan or partisan or whatever it is. But I do think that the experiences at this table are different.
Yeah.
And that if you would have never thought that unless I brought that up before, because we've had that conversation before. And so sometimes I think we're short-sighted in who we listen to for the things that are good for people who are doing the work. That if we're not bringing them, not to a table or anything, but just listening, I think that we could do a whole lot more.
Yeah. No doubt.
Well, goodness, we could talk about school things.
and it's it's changed in 8 years since I've been out. Hey, I went to a school this fall. And read to their kindergarten. I think it's kindergarten, first grade. By the way, the book, The Wonky Donkey.
I haven't read that one. Is it great?
Oh, there's a series of them.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know this.
That's new since my kids. Yeah.
Wonky Donkey.
Wonky Donkey.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
I had all the kids going, hee-haw.
Love reading to school.
Anyway.
I know.
But and then they were showing me, around in the rooms where they will let kids go just to blow off steam. And the counselor said, families have changed so much in the last, and you know how you anticipate it, what they're going to say. And I'm thinking in the last 10 to 15 years, within the last 5 years, I went, whoa. I said, you just said 5 years. She goes, yeah.
That's fixable though.
Families are so different.
But that's fixable,
than what they were 5 years ago.
We've got to find those barriers and those openings that we can
absolutely work on. So
look at that.
Well,
gosh, I love talking about this.
Yes.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is really
so
good.
thanks for joining us today.
Time's up.
It goes fast.
It goes really fast.
We do
We've
try
been here for 2 hours, so it does go fast.
Yeah.
So we always end our podcast with a question. You get to ask the Ellens a question. So what is your question?
My question, here's my question.
Yeah.
How much time you guys got? 'Cause I thought you're going to have a lot to say on this.
Uh-oh. I'll try to keep it.
Okay. What's the most frustrating thing in dealing with the Republican caucus?
Oh my gosh. Hopefully they don't listen to this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's okay to talk. Let me get to one. I've heard a lot this last week, so any one of those.
I know. I'm trying to think. Maybe the biggest challenge for me is with an 80-20 split. We have
17.
Oh, yeah. I try to give us a little bit more, but
sorry.
yeah. But we have no roles in leadership or on committees or, to change the rules, And so to me, the most frustrating part is I feel like we're not included in understanding what each day is going to look like. And maybe that's my frustration this week, is that each day is a new day that we show up for and have to piecemeal the information to be prepared for something that we all really care about.
Well, welcome to the... Can we cut that part?
Yeah, yeah. We're just joking.
Yeah, we're just joking.
Because sometimes, even since I serve on leadership in our small minority party, sometimes I forget to share what I know to others. So yeah, it's so I'll take that on. Sometimes it's difficult to get, especially when things move so fast.
Yeah. And getting it out to 80.
Yeah, yeah. It's in the game of telephone.
And
might be able to change what comes out at the end. Yeah. I think by now, we talk a lot about, like, we're friends. I got to know, I had so much fun when we went on that house trip, and got to know your wife, and it was fun. We have such a good time, and the respect that we have for each other, great. And we say that even with leadership, they respect us, and we all got here the same way, which is hard.
Yeah.
By now, they know the trust that's there, the subject matter experts,
right,
which you can pick off what mine is. I really wish that they would ask me more questions on bills, and if it comes from an agency or if it comes from a lobbyist, ask someone who knows about it.
Yeah.
Because when I hear it, and then it's like, I think the understanding is different if you're walking through the door on services than if you're a leadership or a...
Yeah, I agree with that.
So for me, by now they've got to know, you can think of maybe one thing that I know about, one or two. But I think that would help us, especially this year, with some things that are very difficult for agencies to understand as well with our budget. Yeah. So I came in with waiting list, with advocating for that. And the one thing that I knew is if you knew the budget, you knew how it worked, gosh, you were so far ahead of getting things that you needed, and taught how to advocate, especially with return on investment. So that was a really, coming in with that, that was something that I think that I wish they'd reach out. They don't have to tell anybody. They don't have to tell anybody that they're talking to. Right. They could say that they're talking to a subject matter expert, and that would be right. But sometimes I think we get twisted on that partisan stuff. Yeah. How about you? What's your frustrating with Democrats? Yeah.
I would say the pushback on things that have been in statute or whatever, in our Constitution, whatever, since statehood. Mm-hmm. Okay? And when things don't go our way, we want to change them. I can throw our party in that.
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
A couple of state Supreme Court cases didn't go our way, so what are we wanting to do?
Yeah.
Let's change the rules and how we get, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do straight party.
Yeah, 100%. Now we like.
Well, heck.
Yeah.
It's been in. I didn't hear any Democrats worried about that
when they were in power
25, 30 years ago. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But just different things like that. And again, that's just the system wide of how we want to change. Things don't go our way, and so let's go change them.
Both parties are guilty of that.
Absolutely.
But I think instead of saying parties, maybe we could say those who are in power.
Yeah.
Because those who are in power, as you know, they have a whole lot more leverage.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I tell people all the time, everybo's a hypocrite in this building.
I'm the worst.
People are always like, those hypocrites, and I'm like...
Inconsistency. We're inconsistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that.
All that.
And I'm just as guilty as anybody.
Well, I'm grateful, that because I've only been here, it's my 4th year, but right off the bat, what I wanted to do was meet everybody, and gosh, you and your buddy, which I know you cry still because Van Kuren's not here.
Yeah, he's a quitter.
He's a quitter. I always tell him don't be a quitter, and he's definitely a quitter. But those relationships you build, I can still make Van Kuren laugh, and
sure.
But I know that you miss him. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Saw him and Lonnie last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, it was
they
fun.
left you here all alone, but well, you
fun.
still have friends here.
Yeah, we still have friends.
Still have friends.
well, we appreciate you. I know teachers in your community across the state appreciate you.
Kind of
and
depends on which vote.
Subject matter expert.
Subject matter expert for sure. So thank you for joining us
you.
on today Between Two Ellens.
Thanks. See you again.
Thank you.